Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Circle City Conversations. This is Alex Limontes. I am your host. We are coming to you from our sponsor's studio here at Hurst Limontes. Our sponsor, thank you to our sponsor, Hurst Limontes, with over 50 years of helping injured Hoosiers and their families. Today's episode is going to be a fun one because I've got a bunch of bros in here with me. The focus today, we're going to talk about what it was like to be a law clerk here, because as some of you might know, I was a law clerk here, and everyone sitting here either currently is a law clerk here or was a law clerk here. We're going to go through the evolution of law clerks here at Hurst Limontes and Law Office of William W. Hurst, and before that, Mitchell Hurst, Dick and McNeilis, and Mitchell Hurst, Jacobs and Dick. So, Enrico, all right. I'm going to introduce you first. All right. This is Enrico Stazzone. Enrico is currently a law clerk here. You are in your, second year?
Yep, second year.
All right. Say hi to everyone listening.
Well, hello, everyone. As Alex mentioned, I'm a 2L at IU McKinney, and I've been a law clerk here for the last year at Hurst Limontes.
All right. And that's the youngest one, so we'll just go down the line. Next is Dawson Jones, attorney Dawson Jones now. Dawson, introduce yourself.
New baby attorney, yes. I'm Dawson Jones. I just graduated from IU McKinney last year, and I've been a law clerk here since my first year of law school.
Wonderful. I would like to, first I want to congratulate Chase Wilson on winning Max Goodwin Young Lawyer of the Year.
Yeah.
Right? Indiana Trial Lawyers Association gives this award to young lawyers every year. I went back when I was young and I didn't have so much white on my face. I won the award as well. And so it's something that you dedicate yourself to the cause, to helping people, to making sure people seek justice, and it's recognized. So Chase Wilson, congratulations. And Chase Wilson, introduce yourself and tell our listeners.
Yeah, my name is Chase Wilson. I've been at now Hurst Limontes. It was Mitchell Hurst, Jacobs and Dick, or Mitchell Hurst, Dick and McNeilis when I first joined 12 years ago now. I was a law clerk after my 1L year, just like Dawson. I've never been anywhere else. I got hired here straight out of law school. Now I feel old because I got two younger iterations, right? That are, I think, 10 and 12 years younger than me.
Wow.
And I've got that white starting to form in my face. So,
I was talking to my wife this morning about doing this. She thought it was cool. She's like, "Oh, that's a cool idea. You bringing all these clerks on, people that were clerks now are lawyers, etc." And she was like, "Do you realize that you were a law clerk there 20 years ago?" Actually, I said, "No, you're wrong. It was 21 years ago." I was a law clerk here. So it was a long, long time ago. So Enrico, let's start with you. All right. Your first week as a law clerk here, be honest, how did you feel when you were done with that first week?
Well, I felt a little bit overwhelmed because there's so much information. Dawson was helping me a lot, getting used to everything and going into the cloud and learning how to draft complaints and discovery and the mediation statements. I'd never done any of that. Law school teaches you how to think and how to write, but not how to really draft anything until you get to maybe 2 or 3L year. There's some other class you can take. So I remember distinctly I was drafting something. I think it was discovery, and I kept asking Dawson, "Oh, does it look good?" He goes, "Dude, you're in law school. You're smart enough. You'll figure it out." And that's basically what happened.
What Chip told me, yeah.
That's great. And so, Dawson, your first week, after you were done with that first week here, you were a 1L, weren't you, first year? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started here my first day. Chip brought us all in there. There was 3 of us, 3 different law clerks, and he gave each one of us an assignment. Mine was about I think we just talked about the other day, Alex. It was that big credit card truck.
Oh, yeah. Armored. It was like a modified armored vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had to do a bunch of legal research on that issue. And it was like you came here, we got signed up. Griffin kind of helped us a little bit. And then right in the lion's den, just here we go.
Yeah.
So
arguing diminished value on property gains. Jesus. What a way to start.
Well, it was complex too. Like as you said, it was a large armored truck, so there
It was
was
modified. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was expensive. I mean, those are expensive vehicles. I mean, when you look at our average case value, roughly maybe $50,000-$60,000 on a standard car crash case, some of these vehicles are worth 120 grand.
Yeah.
You know, so Chase, if you can remember back after your,
I mean,
your
I'm
first
getting old, so that's hard.
we were at 152 East Washington back then.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
nice blue building right across from the courthouse when we still filed everything in person.
Mhm.
That was a lot of my job, was taking all of your guys' filings across the street and taking them to the clerk's office. I remember my first week being so excited because you interviewed me, which is crazy. Alex was an attorney when I got hired as a clerk.
Yeah.
He was
Had an awesome like mullet kind of.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, it was beautiful.
But
There's
I
a
was-
video of me online. You'll see it.
Yeah, I was working at Sears selling appliances while going to law school, and then had an unpaid internship at the AG's office. Thought that I was coming in for a corporate job because the other three attorneys in Mitchell, Hurst, Dick, and McNeilus were corporate attorneys. Found out I was doing PI law. Was just excited to be getting paid. Really. And then I got here and we were doing a lot of work on the website at that point. And so I remember being excited. I remember being incredibly intimidated. All of you were very big. You were successful lawyers at the time already. I was meeting Bill Hurst,
Right.
which is 15 years ago when you met Bill Hurst for the first time. He was still as sweet as could be, but a very intimidating guy. And then I came in and we were dealing with this multi-million-dollar truck accident case that we were trying to figure out how we could keep it in Indiana because it happened in Illinois. And that was when Bill is asking you a question, it's normally a question that there's not really a known answer to. Yeah. So I spent like the first month trying to answer an unanswerable question.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I was excited. Fell in love with it pretty quick. So.
And I remember you helping us with that. This was back before we had some of these federal jurisdictional rules. So we could bring certain cases, depending on the jurisdiction.
Yeah, I've actually
Yeah,
talked to
it's-
these two about that because we were able to bring it here
Yeah.
because the trucking company had a registered agent here.
Correct.
I'm curious if that works now because the venue rule changes in
Right.
Indiana.
Right.
I don't think it would.
No.
But to this day, I still remember it was 49 USD 13304.
Yes.
The first thing was 12 years ago.
You've also aged yourself because
That's
the law has changed a lot since then. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I remember back when Stanley V. Walker came out. So, Jesus. So, I want to ask you, I'll start with you, Enrico. What surprised you the most about personal injury and kind of like what we do when you first came in? Like maybe you had an assumption about it or and something that just kind of was very surprising to you.
I think the most surprising thing to me is you hear the word personal injury. A lot of people think ambulance chaser,
Right.
going after big cases, but not all cases are big, and the injuries these people suffer are real, and they're traumatic, and they're long lasting, and every little bit of compensation counts. So I really like the client aspect, getting to the opportunity to speak with clients and kind of see like their story and what happened and seeing how we can help them. So that's probably the thing I most enjoy about this field.
And you come from a family of learned doctors.
I
right?
do.
Yes, and you've done this before. You've gone down to other countries and helped people and
Yeah, my parents run a nonprofit, and they do surgeries in the Dominican Republic, and I've helped out on that mission trip since 2017. So
yeah.
kind of seeing how like the medical side of it can change, like also the legal side. It's really
Right.
that's something I really wanted going into law school.
Yeah. How was that conversation at the dinner table?
Oh.
Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm going to go work for a bunch of ambulance chasers.
Well, starting law school, I was more like, I want to do medical malpractice defense, make sure my parents are proud of me to some degree because I'm not going to med school. And since being here, I kind of flipped the switch where I really have loved the work, and I'm leaning towards starting and doing personal injury when I graduate. But I mean, they're still proud of me to some degree. You know, I'm not a doctor, but lawyer's second best, I guess.
Um, so I want to ask you, Dawson.
Yeah.
What was you came in here? You were 1L. You had kids, didn't you, at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. And so, what were you most surprised about working with a personal injury firm?
Well, kind of like Enrico said, you think it's going to be like car accidents, a very small and minute field, but the type of personal injury that we do here is very expansive, I think. I mean, you had Katie was doing medical malpractice, Chip was doing work comp, he was starting some civil rights stuff. And you just see that the personal injury basket is actually a lot larger and a lot wider than what you originally anticipate. Yeah. So that was cool. I think also just working here and being able to do the stuff that a lot of my other friends weren't able to do, because they'd go to these big corporate jobs and they were like, oh, you're drafting mediation statements, you're drafting those, you're drafting complaints. I'm like, yeah. And they're, oh, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just doing research. I'm like, yeah. So it was, that was a unique aspect of everything here as well.
Yeah. And Chase, you were a law clerk here when, 12 years ago? 10 years
12.
ago. 10 to 12 years ago.
So I've been a lawyer for 10 hours. Now as a clerk for 2.
Coming up on 10. All right. So what about you? What was most surprising for you?
I mean, everything. So I talked about it a second ago, and you and I have talked about it a bunch over the years. When I came in to interview for the job, I thought I was coming in to interview for a corporate law firm. I had no idea the bill did personal injury. And I didn't have the greatest, opinion of personal injury. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. The only thing I
Southern
heard,
Indiana, right?
yeah, the only things I ever heard about personal injury lawyers were the commercials on TV saying they were, ambulance chasing jerks that were driving up your insurance costs. Which, by the way, isn't true.
Yeah. No. Insurance companies are making record profits.
Record profits last year, but we're the problem.
Yeah.
So I remember coming in and I was so excited because I was going to be paid, and I was poor and I needed to be paid. I didn't think I'd like the work, but it was so different from every preconceived notion that I had, or everything I had been told basically my whole life. And seeing you and Bill so quickly in the care that you had for the clients as opposed for the money. And I think you're going to ask this question in a little bit. I remember one of the first pieces of advice Bill gave me was, don't worry about the money, worry about the client.
Yeah.
The rest will take care of itself.
Yeah.
And that's how this firm's operated the entire time I've been here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, here, I'll tell. So I was a law clerk here 21 years ago. Technology obviously was a little limited back then. And so we were in a room about this big. There was 4 of us in that room. We would do a lot of deposition summaries. You probably did a lot of that. Yeah. Deposition summaries, the attorneys were right. I worked primarily with Sam Jacobs and Kim Danforth, and they were right in the fact that doing deposition summaries allows you to familiarize yourself with the cases and what we're doing. So I did that at first for a little bit, but what surprised me was when they started sending me to the Muncie office. So I had an office in Muncie, and I would go up there, and I was an investigative law clerk.
That's kind of cool.
So we would actually go out in the field in Muncie and do investigations. And we were working with a family who, a 16-year-old girl who had a brain injury, was permanently had paralysis as a result of that. And we had a case against Delaware County, and it was a road design case. Yeah. So I remember doing a ton of investigation on it. And that was probably a moment when it all kind of clicked, because at first when I looked at it, I was like, how the hell are they responsible for this? But then I started going out and doing the investigation, taking pictures of roads and signs and everything. I would go to the recorder's office in Delaware County, pull the documents and everything.
Yeah.
And then I learned that this construction company had totally fucked this whole thing up and essentially created this strip of road that a lot of people drove down, and created this kind of like obstacle course thing with what they were doing. And that's what drove her off the road. We were able to help that family. So I would say getting out of the office and getting into the field, that was probably surprised me the most.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that you guys got to do, but I remember when I was a clerk as well, Bill would say, "Hey, we've got this accident here. I want you to go to every business that might have been able to see it and see if they've got camera footage, or go talk to these people in Canada." It was eye-opening.
I will say this, since then, even in the last 10, 12 years, technology has evolved to the point where we can now just Google image,
Right.
the intersections. What forced us out into the field so much was the lack of that availability. We didn't have that, but we still had to see it to be able to know what the hell happened to our clients so that we could present the case. And so now, so many times we find ourselves, even in deposition, we'll pull up a Google image and use that. Yeah. So,
You likely got a lot more out of that though, going in person,
yeah.
seeing the intersection versus the Google Maps.
Yeah,
itself.
for sure.
yeah, because when you're there in person, your perspective completely changes versus seeing it on a screen. And especially with car crashes, because car crashes, one of the things a lot of people assume about car crashes is that it's a kind of crash report, they're at fault, wham, bam, you're done.
Right.
They're not, they're so much more complicated than that. Something like a left-hand turn case that we were looking at the other day.
Yeah.
When someone turns left, you've got these convoluted rules where you can turn left, but you have to yield to or oncoming traffic. But if the left-hand turner is so far into their lane, then they have to yield to you. So you have to kind of look at the impact and things like that. So going out to the scene can certainly be really helpful for that. So I want to talk about the biggest gap, and I want to ask Enrico, what do you think the biggest difference between law school and actually working at a law firm is?
It's definitely the actual hands-on, tangible, day-to-dayness of a law firm, of knowing these are documents I have to draft. You learn how to legally write. You learn how to think. You can do research all day long. But a lot of, even my friends, as Dawson mentioned, like, they've never drafted a complaint going into their 2L year. They've never done any motion practice, which I was very surprised how much I would actually be doing when I started working here, especially when we had 3 other law clerks at the time who then were taking the bar. Then I was really thrown into Lion's Den, and I was like, got to figure it out. Yeah. And I actually was better for it because it made me have to just adapt and learn. And thankfully, we have a bunch of attorneys here that are willing to teach, and I was very appreciative of that. But most people, if you don't take like a litigation drafting class, you're never gonna, and you're in a big law firm, perhaps, you might not ever get that drafting experience till you graduate.
Yeah.
Which I think could be a disservice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I feel like every law clerk has a moment where you're sitting there, you're nodding, you're in a meeting with someone, and acting like you understand,
Yeah.
and internally, right? Internally, you're like, yeah. And internally, you're like, oh, fuck. I'll figure this out somehow. Eventually, yeah.
You kidding me? 12 years later, I still have those moments.
Yeah. So, and to your point, Chase, when you practice in new areas like you're doing in this civil rights that you've been doing now for a long time, but for years, but you do find yourself.
There's always something new. There's always a new scenario. That's why this area of law is so interesting, because every case is different. And some little wrinkle will come up in every case. There's almost no cookie cutter case anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Dawson, I want to ask you, did law school, you're a brand new lawyer.
Yeah.
Did law school prepare you at all? Or did you just show up hoping for the best?
I think I'll piggyback off of Enrico a little bit. It teaches you how to think about the law and how to write a little bit, but in terms of actually being a lawyer, no. It does not teach you how to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Client relations, being able to talk to a client, being able to go through the process, understanding. The biggest thing is some of the procedural stuff. You know what I mean? Learning how to file in like federal court, learning how to use the Odyssey system, making sure you're doing it right, sticking to your deadlines, calendaring things, which I guess that, you did that in law school, but Canvas kind of did it for you. Now you
Yeah.
create your own
Yeah.
calendar and everything. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects that are a lot different, but I think you just got to learn as you go. Yeah.
I like to think that law school kind of teaches you perspective
Mm-hmm.
and some rules, not all of them, like procedurally, like you said.
Yeah.
But the job itself teaches you what happens when you apply that perspective in the rules to real life.
Yeah.
Because it's like Chase said, everything is different. Every case is different. And we have to think differently about,
I mean, I just had that case pop up last week. We had a summary judgment motion filed because there was a Court of Appeals decision that said a homeowner doesn't have a duty to a traveling motorist to keep their bush or tree from obstructing a stop sign. That got filed on April 6th. That case that they cited in that summary judgment motion was up for review with the Supreme Court. The very next day after that motion was filed, after I had talked to Dawson about it, we had both researched it, and I was preparing a response. The Supreme Court ruled and reversed the Court of Appeals decision.
Talk about a goal, man. On perfect time.
The next day. So it's always changing.
Yeah. It's crazy. We were talking about, I think something funny to just kind of add to that is when you look at the Supreme Court opinion, it's dense. It's like 40 pages. And and we were sitting there laughing. It took them 40 pages to say that a homeowner cannot obstruct a stop sign with a tree on their property.
Yes. Yes. That's your practical advice for everyone listening. If you have a bush or something like that blocking a tree, blocking a stop sign, chop it.
Yeah.
It's chopped. Bushes are chopped, guys. Yeah.
Chop.
Oh, man. Okay. So I want to ask you guys, and this is like quick fire round. What do you think? We'll start with Enrico. What do you think makes a good law clerk here at Hurst Limontes?
Number one thing is just humility. I think out the gate, you got to be humble and know you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You know nothing. I actually, before my first day, I called my cousin who had just graduated law school like a year before. And I said, well, do you have any advice? He goes, first thing you need to do is see if there's an example of anything you're drafting. Try to figure out yourself first, then go up the food chain of asking. Don't be going asking the managing partner how to do this. Don't ask one of the younger attorneys or another clerk with you. Try to figure it out. So you're in law school. You can figure it out. And you've done things much harder. So humility and just knowing when to ask for assistance and talk things through, because there's a lot of complicated cases that I've gotten to work on and that you just need to bounce ideas at times and you're not going to know the answer. Maybe there is no answer.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a few of those right now.
Yeah.
There is no answer. We'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Make it up. Yeah, we'll make up an answer.
What about you, Dawson? I mean, you heard what Enrico said about what do you think makes a good law clerk?
Yeah, I mean, humility, being able to do it yourself, and then just being able to absorb the information. I think Chip said from day one, figure it out yourself, you'll do it. That's exactly what I was going to say, so I'm trying to formulate it up. Yeah, I think just taking any opportunity you can to create relationships, even outside of the firm. You've given us an abundance of opportunities to do that. With like the Indy Bar, the Indiana Trial Lawyers, there's always events that we're going to where you're giving us opportunities to network and connect with judges and other attorneys. So I think building relationships is a big part of your job as a law clerk.
My family immigrated here from Cuba after Fidel Castro took over, and this government took everything from my family, and that attracted me to be a lawyer. Insurance companies can be like bullies, and they have a lot of resources behind them. Give us a call here at Hurst Limontes. We are protective of our clients because our clients matter and you matter. At Hurst Limontes, we're a firm that believes in people. We don't just talk about justice or fairness, we live it. The Indiana Fever are trailblazers. They inspire not only in how they play, but how they lead in our Indiana community. Being a father changes everything. Supporting the Fever is one way that I show my kids what it means to believe in fairness, to believe in respect and possibility. At Hurst Limontes, we believe in those same things. The Fever stand for resilience, grit, determination, and heart. They aren't just a basketball team. They're a symbol of what's possible when you refuse to give up. Their impact ripples far beyond the court, and you can see it in the energy, pride, and hope that they create in our city. Whether you're a young girl dreaming of playing in the WNBA or a kid in a small town dreaming of becoming a lawyer, you belong. This partnership is proof of that. At Hurst Limontes, we believe in standing up for those people that are overlooked. From court to court, Hurst Limontes is your winning team. So, what is some advice that you would give to a law clerk? Okay, and we'll start with Enrico. What can they do to focus on trying to get better at the actual practice?
Something that really helped me is I was able to work on cases for not only just Chip, Chase, Katie, even yourself, and seeing everyone's own writing styles and how they like to formulate things is really helpful to find your own style.
Yeah.
And take your time with drafting. The attorneys are here to help you, but really take your time to look it over, edit through it, be like, does this sound well? Like, if I was reading this makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't have to be super fancy. Get to the point, direct, and they teach you that in law school, and that helps in practice too. You don't need a 45-page complaint. Most of the time, that's completely unnecessary.
And some of these civil rights.
Some civil rights different, but no, as a general rule, I think it's helpful to work with multiple attorneys and see their writing styles to develop your own.
To piggyback off of that, their style and how they interact with clients too, right? Because every area does it
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everyone is different.
I don't think you could get more different than the way I interact with the clients versus Chip. It's so sorry, Craig. Yeah. Yeah, we're all just very different. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it works. You have to figure out what works for you.
Correct. Yeah. So, we were talking about the best law clerks and kind of what makes up a good one, but I feel like some of the best law clerks are the ones that are comfortable with being a little uncomfortable.
You have to be.
And like, you don't know everything yet, but you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's change gears. We talked about Bill a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bill Hurst, anyone that's in the legal community knows who Bill Hurst is. The law firm is called Hurst Limontes for a reason. He's been doing this for a long time. So I'll start with you, Chase, because you've been here the longest. What was your relationship like with Bill as a mentor when you were a law clerk here?
Yeah, it was weird. So when I came in, I had this kind of preconceived notion that Bill was going to be the big law firm owner, that he was going to be kind of a jerk and yelling at me and ordering me around and all of those sorts of things. But that never happened. I think you had a similar experience with Bill. It was like a weird second father scenario. Like, he really took me under his wing and was like, this is how we're going to do this. This is how you're going to become good at this. From attending depots to just sitting and I'd have a question that I thought was incredibly difficult, but Bill knew the answer to as soon as I walked in the office. But he'd sit there and listen to me and my concerns and what I was trying to get to for 30 to 40 minutes and then go, okay, well, have you figured it out yet?
Yeah.
No. And he goes, go look at the statute. And he just knew it off the top of his head. This question I've been mulling for weeks.
Right.
It's like, yeah, there's a statute on it. Go look it up. So, I still have that relationship with him now. I still talk to him pretty regularly. I don't think that'll ever stop.
Do you remember the first thing that Bill ever said to you?
I mean, I'm getting old. It's 12 years ago now. I'm sure it was something to the effect of, "Hey, honey," or "Hey, sweetheart, come here."
Yeah.
I joke all the time that I'm not sure he knew my name for like the first 6 years I worked here. I'm sure he knew my name, but you've all worked with Bill enough to know that he acts like your grandpa. So he's gonna call you sweetheart and honey and all those fun things. And unfortunately, I've picked up some of those tendencies. We get rid of them.
What about you, Dawson? What's your relationship like with Bill as a mentor?
It's been really great. He has actually given me a case right now where we're kind of working from start to finish together. So we've been going through like the complaint. He's guiding me through the process entirely, and I get to see how Bill Hurst does it. That's been really great. He takes me out to lunch. I feel like you guys maybe have more of like this father-son dynamic, and maybe I came in a little late and I get the grandson dynamic because he is so nice to me, and he is so patient and calm, and just it's been great.
So I got a lot of that too. I came in and I heard how much of a bear Bill was, and he was just never that. Or maybe it's because I have a dad who was kind of grumpy and to the point all the time, so I just took it as this is normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think doing what you're doing now, where you've got a case with him, Alex has done it, I've done it. It can be one of the most annoying things in the world because you're going to do the same thing 20 times until you get it right. Oh, you learn so much doing it because he's not going to tell you what you did wrong. He's just going to tell you to do it again.
Yeah.
No, do it again. Do it again. Do it again until you get it right and you go, oh, okay, this is what you want. And this is why.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Yeah,
Learn a lot that way.
I love just when he'll take me to lunch. He's taken a couple opportunities to do that already, and I'll sit there and just talk with him about his old stories. What it was like to be an attorney of the 70s and 80s, and
It's crazy.
it is just so fun to sit there and
These
listen.
cameras,
Yeah, probably not safe for the
all these
podcast.
recording devices.
They weren't around.
Hell no.
Oh, man.
Not back then. Do you remember the first thing that Bill ever said to you?
It's hard to remember the first thing that he ever said to me. I'm sure it was something.
Yeah.
Like similar to Chase.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, how are you, sweetheart? What's your name? Something.
Hey, kid,
Something
get in
along
here.
those lines.
Something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think he called me Chad the first time.
The second time he was on YouTube showing me his old commercials.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that was super fun.
Yeah, I was able to. So we had video cassettes of those
Yeah.
in the old building, and I got them digitized for him,
Both that was like
so he could live on forever. So I won't get into too many details about. Obviously, my relationship with Bill is a little different, than some other folks, but Bill's a great guy. I learned a lot from him, and how to really, focus on trying to help people out. But I do remember the first thing that Bill ever said to me. I do.
God.
The old office at 152 East Washington Street. I was interviewed by Sam Jacobs and Kim Danforth, two excellent lawyers, and that they eventually, left and started their own firm. But after I got done with the interview and talking to them, they introduced me to people up in the office. Bob Strohmeyer was one of them. Laura Conyers. These are all like older lawyers that you guys probably don't know, but John Babione, who doesn't do PI work anymore, but I smelled smoke, and it was cigar smoke. So I smelled smoke immediately on the second floor, and I walk upstairs. Yeah. And Sam he would smoke in his office, but talking about how things were like back in the 70s and 80s, even 90s. So I smell this smoke, and I walk past, and they introduce me. I'm standing in his doorway, in Bill's doorway. And they're like, "Oh, this is Bill Hurst, one of the partners here." And he looks at me. He just kind of leans back. He's got this big, fat cigar in his mouth. And he just takes a huge puff. He just blows it out, and he looks over at me. I'm standing in the door. I'm 6'4". I was a hell of a lot skinnier back then. And he looks at me, and he goes, "You know what? You're tall. I bet you still can't block my hook shot." And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like a 24-year-old kid, first clerk job. And this guy's just puffing on a cigar, and that's the first thing he says to me. I'll never forget that. So among other things, like when I first came back, started working with him, and he told me, he's like, same thing he told you, don't worry about the money, help these people, the money will come. That's a really important lesson. Yeah.
I forgot about the experience of working at 152. My office
cigars.
My office was next to his.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you guys gave me like a full-size attorney's office as a law clerk. It was huge.
Oh, that's we had this space.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think someone
There
else
was
had
plenty of
just
space
left.
in that
There was
building.
an attorney that had just left, and they were like,
It was
"Here you go."
McMinn.
Yeah, it was. By the way, Richard, I still have your copy of The Little Prince that was in your desk. Tried to give it back to you like 5 times if you want it.
He went to the dark side.
But
We still love it.
yeah, I remember I would come home every day and Alyssa was like, "Were you smoking cigars?" I'm like, "No, Bill was in his office next door."
Yeah. Yeah. So we would, you never met. So Bill's paralegal, not first one, but the one when I was there, when I first came back, it was Debbie, and she was the same one before. And Debbie Woldrick, she was fantastic. So when they owned the building, and so the fire marshal would come through and do inspections. And so when the fire marshal would come through, of course you can't be smoking cigars inside. This was after they passed the rules, like, and literally would run through the office. Debbie would with like an air cleaner and just spray everything, and we would make the fire marshal like wait downstairs while we cleaned up all the smoke smell.
Oh my gosh.
Was that Bill told her?
Yeah.
He said, "I get this."
So yeah. So, and I mean, it would just be like, it'd be like fresh, like off a cigar. When we moved out of that office, I remember we pulled paintings off the wall. Bill loves art. He loves art, and he had all kinds of art in his office. We pulled these paintings off, and there was around the frame, it was white behind the wall because of this cigar smoke in that office. Yeah.
That office smelled like a law firm to me. It smelled
Right.
like old books and really nice cigars
Right.
all the time.
So let's close this out, guys. Let's wrap this up. All right. Same question for all of you. We'll start with Enrico. First of all, Enrico, thank you for working here. I appreciate it. I know you're leaving us, right?
Unfortunately.
Tell us where you're going.
So I'm gonna be in South Texas at Jones, Gallagher, Key, Lozano.
Yeah,
I'm trying out the dark side for a summer,
that's all right.
but yeah,
I
my
like it.
my wife is a medical resident down in South Texas, and she'll be done after I'm done. So we'll be down in Texas for probably a few years. But sad to be leaving. I greatly appreciate the opportunity working here. I learned so much. So
Yeah, dude, you're awesome.
And you obviously you have a sugar mama, which is good. You've moved out, so that's a good thing. Are you gonna be like a stay-at-home dad eventually?
no,
Don't let her work.
no way.
No,
I enjoy
I
it.
would go crazy.
Yeah, I enjoy the.
Well, the nice
Works
thing about
much.
what we do, right, is like, I mean, if you wanted to, you could do it from home.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. I know a lot of lawyers.
I mean, more and more, I
Yeah.
think everybody is.
Yeah. So, so if you could go back to your first day as a law clerk, what would you tell yourself?
Oof. First day. I would just tell myself that I just need to go right into it and not be scared if I draft something improperly.
Yeah.
Release the fear, and after a week or two you get over it. But you're kind of like, I was kind of like nervous to talk to the attorneys, like to ask questions, and I was like, now it's like I can go up to anyone and just be like, hey, I have a question here. Is this fine? And no problem. They're here to help, and we're all like a team, like a family here. So, yeah, just don't be afraid. Get into the nitty gritty of the cases. Like, put yourself into the heart of it and understand really what's going on. And the more I've worked here, the longer, the more I've like gotten into what's really going on in this case, more invested in every outcome. And you're like, this poor family or
Right.
poor individual, like you really want to, and it's cool to see the fruits of that labor
Yeah.
when they finally settle.
Absolutely. What about you, Dawson? You go back in time, first day of work as a law clerk. What do you tell yourself?
Don't overthink it. just don't overthink, right? And know that there's people to help. And then also just, I would tell myself this is the area you're going to love. Because when I came in here, I had no idea really what I wanted to do. And I've truly just fallen in love with plaintiff's work. So just to soak everything in and understand that this is likely what you're going to be doing. So yeah, we would have taken a little, like that first year, I'd have been like probably a little bit more invested. But yeah.
What about you, Chase?
Dig in and realize you don't know anything,
Yeah.
which is hard for me, as I'm sure you can all imagine. I've got a bit of an ego.
It's all right. We all do. It's part of being a lawyer, right?
I think you have to have some, right?
Yeah. Well, you have to have some to be a trial lawyer.
Right.
Going through and try a case.
You're saying, hey, I'm the guy that should go tell your story to 6 random people.
Yeah.
You have to have some bit of an ego to
Yeah.
think that you should be that person, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've learned so much. I still learn every day, but specifically early on.
Yeah.
You learned so much that you didn't even think about.
Yeah, I would, for me, again, going back 21 years is a long time. First of all, I never thought I would be in this area of law.
Yeah.
And that's probably the first thing I would say is, Alex, don't be surprised if you fall in love with doing this kind of work to the point where you buy the firm. So where you're like, you take over the firm that you were a law clerk at, 21 years ago. So don't be surprised if you fall in love with it, because you're helping people, at the end of the day. And I think that at the core of most lawyers, whether you do corporate work, whether you do med mal defense, whether you do plaintiff's work, whatever you do, at our core, we want to help people. That's what we want to do in one way or another, help a business owner, whatever, And so, don't be surprised if you find something that you can do that and still kind of, really enjoy doing it. So, gentlemen, I really appreciate it. It's a great conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone starts somewhere. And fortunately for all 4 of us here, we started here. So, and for a lot of us, it starts as a law clerk just trying to figure things out. And I think it's important for other people to listen to your journey and your story. So, Dawson, Chase, Enrico, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. And to everyone listening, if you're in that phase right now, just know this is part of the process.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Be humble. Know and understand that we were all there before, and we know what it's like, and we want you to be better. We want you to be the best version of yourself, because we need really good lawyers here in Indiana.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you to everyone for listening to another episode of Circle City Conversations. Be sure to hit that button and subscribe. We'll see you next time.